She never expected her life to change that morning, but it did. The moment 19-year-old Lila saw an old man screaming at pigeons on the sidewalk. This story comes from a user. I decided to share it because the writer really captured the essence of what we discuss here. You can tell this story affected her deeply. This is her take on our idea. Most people walked past him, eyes full of pity or disgust. But Lila, a waitress who barely made enough to eat, couldn't ignore him. She noticed his torn coat, muddy shoes, and a face hidden beneath a wild gray beard. But what struck her most were his eyes lost, confused, but kind. Without thinking, she offered him the sandwich she was saving for her own lunch. "You okay, sir?" she asked softly. He didn't answer, just stared at her, then whispered, "Do I know you?" Lila smiled politely, shook her head, and sat with him anyway. For the next few days, she brought him food, water, and even a blanket. She called him Mr. Ray after the name stitched faintly into his coat. They became an odd pair, one invisible to the city, the other forgotten by it. But everything changed the day Lila found a folded, yellowed photo in his coat pocket. The photo showed a baby, a woman holding her, and a younger version of Mr. Ray smiling proudly. She froze. That baby, it was her. That was her only baby picture, the one her mother said was lost in a fire. Heart pounding, she rushed to ask him about it. Mr. Ray stared at the photo, tears rolling down his weathered cheeks. "You're my little Lily," he whispered. Her heart stopped. Lily was the name her father used to call her before he disappeared when she was 2. Her mother told her he abandoned them. But now, sitting in front of her, was the man she thought she'd never see again. He wasn't just a homeless stranger, he was her father. Confused and emotional, Lila didn't know what to believe until a man in a black suit arrived the next day. "Mr. Raymond Blackwood," the man said, handing her a card. "He's been missing for 10 years. He's the founder of Blackwood Holdings." Lila stared in disbelief. Blackwood Holdings was one of the biggest real estate companies in the country. "He disappeared after a mental breakdown," the man continued. "We've been looking for him for years." Lila looked at Mr. Ray, her father, who was now being taken to a hospital for help. Months passed, and he slowly recovered. His memory returned, piece by piece, and so did their bond. He told her everything, the pressure, the lies, the betrayal by business partners who left him to rot after a breakdown. He wandered the streets, forgotten even by himself. But her kindness, her warmth, brought him back. A year later, Lila stood beside her father, now clean and sharp in a tailored suit, as he reintroduced her to the world, not as the poor waitress from the diner, but as the heir to the Blackwood fortune. The world called it a miracle. She just called it compassion. After all, she never knew he was a billionaire. She only saw a man who needed help, and sometimes the person you save ends up saving you right back. It's a beautiful story, isn't it? It reminds us that no matter how rough the exterior, there's always a story waiting to be heard, and maybe, just maybe, a connection waiting to be made. Now I have a question for you. In today's fast-paced world, where everyone seems to be in a rush, how often do we stop to listen to someone, a story, or lend a helping hand to a stranger? Let me know in the comments section below. Your thoughts matter. And hey, if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to show your support. Your engagement really helps us grow and bring more stories like this to more people. It's a win-win for everyone. So let's keep the good vibes going. Here's another story that might make you smile. A wealthy old man lived alone in his mansion. One day he received a phone call. It went like this. "Hello. Yes, I want to report a theft. Someone stole my red convertible. Can you come quickly?" The operator replied, "Sir, you must be joking. We don't send people for such trivial matters." "Oh, but I'm serious. I need my car back." The operator finally relented and sent a police officer to the old man's house. When the officer arrived, He found the old man in his garden. "Is everything okay, sir?" The old man calmly replied, "Everything's fine. I just need you to find my stolen red convertible." The officer searched the area and soon spotted a red convertible parked nearby. "Sir, I found your car. Do you need me to bring it here?" The old man nodded. The officer walked over to the car, opened the door, and asked, "So what happened?" The old man explained that he had bought the car for his wife, but she passed away and he didn't drive it often. However, since his neighbor had also passed away recently, he kept seeing the neighbor as children playing in the street and decided to buy them the car so they could enjoy themselves. But unfortunately, someone stole it. The officer listened intently and then burst out laughing. "Sir, that's not a stolen car. It belongs to the neighbor's children. They asked me to bring it here because they wanted to play in it for a bit." The old man's face turned pale and he apologized profusely to the officer. "I'm so sorry. I thought it was stolen because—" The old man couldn't finish his sentence as he realized the truth. The officer, noticing the old man's guilt, reassured him, "It's okay, sir. I understand. Sometimes grief can make us act irrationally. It's important to move on and let go of the past." The old man nodded slowly, realizing the gravity of his actions. He thanked the officer for understanding and invited him in for tea. As the officer sipped his tea, the old man shared his story. He explained that after his wife passed away, he felt empty and neglected. He missed someone to talk to and care for. One day, he saw the neighbor as children playing in the street and thought it would be nice if he could buy them something to cheer them up. He decided to purchase a new car for them, but unfortunately, his plan backfired and he ended up calling the police on innocent children. The officer listened patiently, understanding the old man's grief and longing for companionship. He saw a lonely widower who simply wanted to feel connected again. The officer finished his tea and stood up. "Thank you for sharing your story with me, sir. I understand how you feel. Sometimes we just need someone to listen, and that can make a world of difference." The old man nodded, feeling lighter after pouring his heart out. The officer offered, "If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to call. I'll be happy to help." The old man smiled, touched by the officer's kindness. The officer took the old man's number and promised to stay in touch. Before leaving, he gave the old man some advice. "Sir, you're a wealthy man, and there's no harm in spoiling the neighbor's kids a bit. Why don't you buy them a new car instead of taking the previous one back? They deserve it." The old man's eyes lit up with an idea. He immediately called his wife's children and offered to buy them a brand new car. Overjoyed, the children accepted his offer. When the officer returned to the mansion, he saw the old man playing with the children, his face beaming with joy. The officer couldn't help but smile. It was a heartwarming sight to behold. The officer decided to visit the old man every now and then to check on him. They became friends, and the old man no longer felt lonely. He had found companionship and purpose in spending time with the children, and the officer was glad to be a part of their lives. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to leave your support. Your engagement means the world to us. Thanks for being a part of our community and sharing these heartwarming stories with others. Until next time, keep being awesome and spreading positivity.